When I went to seminary, to get my degree because I became a Christian, and I wanted to know for myself what I believed, why I believed it, rather than just having it spoon-fed to me. I wanted to know for myself. I never had any intention of being a pastor or missionary or anything like that, or even a Christian school teacher. My thing was I was in law school, and I dropped out of law school, went to seminary, and I thought, well, once I finish this, then I can go back to law school. But while I was in seminary, oh, Jenna, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. When I was in seminary, I substitute Todd over here, and then they came and asked me if I wanted to teach once Miss Pratt, you probably don't know her, she was leaving, and they asked me if I wanted to come over and teach. And I said, yeah, it's a good fit. I was coaching basketball, and teaching. I enjoyed what I was doing, and so 30 years later, here I am.
Because you started out as like a modern day Lee Strobel, huh?
I guess so. Well, I was kind of raised in a home. My dad was not a Christian, and my mom was marginally so, but my grandmother was a very strong Christian. And so just really her example is a testimony to me. And even though I kind of went my own way, I was a good kid in high school just because I played basketball, and that was important to me. But then when I got into college and I wasn't playing anymore, then I joined a fraternity and kind of did all the fraternity stuff. And then became a Christian after I graduated from college. My dad had a heart attack, and we had a family farm. So I took over on the family farm for a year while I studied for the LSAT. Yeah, I told you guys my story. So then it was during that period of time that God got a hold of my heart. I started reading the Bible and then going to church. And I thought, and I started law school. And I thought, I really want to study the Bible. I want to know what I believe, why I believe it. And that's the Lee Strobel, I guess, part of it. And so then, I dropped out of law school and started seminary and really kind of never looked back from there. But anyway, Jenna, how are you?
I'm good.
It's good to see you.
Good to see you too.
Yeah, I was just saying that I've interviewed already Christine Belting and Rod Belting. And when I first started here, I had Rod. I started coaching here. Rod was an 8th grader. Hot Rod, yeah. That's my nickname I gave to him. So.
Oh, you gave him the nickname?
Oh, yeah.
Because everybody knows that, yeah.
And then we're going to have Mike Cameron and Laura Cameron on later.
Oh, nice.
So
cool.
Just really kind of interesting.
Do you remember the nickname you gave me? Probably not.
I don't remember.
Well, we were talking about like the names of God in Bible class or whatever, and I think kind of make the point. You were like, "Hey, Ben, you have any nicknames?" Like, "Oh yeah, plenty." And you're like, "Okay, plenty." And so for the rest of the year, you called me Plenty, and it was just kind of like.
I don't remember that. That's a good story.
Are we on like video?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Oh, I didn't know that.
I know.
I would have worn something different.
Well, from what I understand, you were voted best dressed as a senior.
Welcome to the Pointe podcast. The Pointe is for outside listeners curious to know more about NorthPointe's mission to equip students to impact their world for Jesus Christ. We're so glad you joined us, so let's just get to the point.
I want to welcome you to the Pointe podcast again here at NorthPointe High School. And again, we have two of our alumni with us today. We have Ben Sietsema and his wife, Jenna Sietsema. And we're featuring them as not only former students, but they're now married, of course, and they're serving in our community, serving in business, serving at NorthPointe, helping to lead a significant moment in our school's history. We're going to talk a little bit about that as well. And Ben, you're working for Rockford or Construction, is that correct?
No, I was.
Okay.
I was, yeah. And then a handful of years ago, I left and started what's called Honeycrisp Ventures.
Okay. Oh, there we go. I
And
need one of those.
Yeah. Okay, we'll get one going your way.
All right.
So we're a commercial real estate investment firm that specializes kind of in industrial property. So
Okay. Are you doing some of the things that we're involved in here? Some of the building projects that we've...
Well, hope to be, yeah. So part of that, maybe we're getting into this, but
Okay.
I'm a co-chair of the capital campaign
Right.
for NorthPointe. And then also I have an ownership stake in a construction firm that may or may not win the work.
Okay.
All
Right. So you're bidding right now.
We're bidding. You got to compete,
Yeah.
in this
Oh,
world.
nice.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of competing, it seems that you got an award of some sort here. Your leadership in business recognized a prestigious award What award is that? Can you talk a little bit about it? What's that all about?
I think you're probably referring to the 200 most influential people
okay.
in West Michigan.
All right. And so what's that all about? I mean, how did that come about?
I guess I'm influential in some way, shape, or form. Hopefully it's a positive influence. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We've had some success at work. I'm surrounded by great people on a daily basis. I have a great wife who helps support me at home and loves and cares for our whole family. But yeah, no, it's a individual recognition, but it's obviously a team. It truly comes down to our team. So
okay. And what we like to at NorthPointe Christian, of course, our mission statement is equipping young men and women to impact the world for Jesus Christ, and hopefully your life of faith and your stuff of life will intersect. How do you see that intersecting in Honeycrisp Ventures and what you're doing?
Yeah, good question. We think about that often.
Thank you.
So yeah, it's a really great question. So I think there's a couple facets to that. One is more recently in a business partnership that I have, a company that I'm involved with. We have over 200 employees. So we think about that every single day with my business partner, Kurt Mulder at Wolverine Building Group.
Okay.
And just really impacting individuals and their families. And there's a lot of responsibility of knowing that, showing up every day and having those people count on you. If that's a family of 3 to 4 people, do the math on that. It's not 200, it could be 800 people.
Yeah, for sure.
So doing that in a way that, is glorifying to the Lord and doing it the right way, not cutting corners. But then also in what is truly my kind of day-to-day job in real estate, it's interesting because it's kind of an industry that's maybe not known for the best things. Mm-hmm. And so to do things differently, I think is important, impacting people. We actually end up working with it's really about the businesses. Mm-hmm. It's people business, but it's also about the businesses. And so just knowing that you're different, I mean, there's opportunities where you can be really bold in your faith, but there's also a lot of opportunities where you're just an example, or hopefully people notice that you're different in doing that and ask questions about that, and then being ready to kind of have those conversations. So, I think about it on a daily basis.
All right. And Jenna, kind of your stuff of life of faith intersections.
So I studied communication, then I went and worked for a nonprofit, and they were cancer and grief support.
Okay.
And so we did what is now Laugh Fest, and I worked on that festival for the first year. I was a volunteer coordinator for them for a couple years. Okay. One of the reasons I moved on from there, getting married, and then soon after I found out we were having our first kid. So I really just kind of stayed at home after that. I would say the obvious thing is with my boys and just raising them and just incorporating that at home. There's plenty of conflict to be worked out and lots of things, lots of questions of life, but also just really involved in Bible study fellowship, which I've done since we got married. I started doing that when I had a baby at home and wanted to meet other women. So I've since jumped into some leadership roles there in the children's program, leading little kids in their faith and stuff like that. So friendships, getting together with my friends on a regular basis, praying together and things like that. It's mainly relationships that I see it. So. And then supporting NorthPointe.
Yeah, well, that brings us to where we are right now with what's going on. We've got a capital campaign that's going on, and both of you are heavily involved in that. You're on the board of that. And so I just wanted to talk a little bit about some things that are going on with this and have you guys kind of unpack what this whole thing is about. So part of it here, as I'm reading, we're looking to raise some funds for a new building for our upper elementary students. Mm-hmm. And then the one that I particularly like, seeking to improve our teachers' pay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I don't have to drive the bus and then hurry back here to get here to the podcast today. But let's talk a little bit about the new building for the upper elementary students. What's that going to look like?
Well, we're trying to figure that out. I think that I think the big thing here is, I like what Todd has said, where we're not trying to get bigger. Mm-hmm. We're just trying to get better. And I think that NorthPointe has experienced some growth over the last couple of years, and I think how they handled things like COVID is a testament to that. Okay. And I think they were really able to show through leadership like Todd and others that, we do things differently here, and I think people loved that. We're really trying to accommodate the growth that's already happened. This isn't necessarily about, hey, we're going to be building this so that we can attract more and more people. It's actually about like, hey, we're actually pretty tight here to do what we want to do.
Just pause you there for a minute, because in this brochure, which anyone can get out there, by the way, and part of what we want to do here is not just talk with the alumni and get to know them a little bit better, but also the capital campaign that we're involved in right now, is starting back, and this goes back to 2014, 2015, we had 758 students. And that went up really until the COVID years where, of course, it went down. But then from that point in time, went from 758 in 2014, 2015, and now in 26, 27, we're at 1,420 students.
Yeah.
So that just goes to what you're talking about, the need for this kind of thing.
Yeah.
So go ahead.
Yep. Yeah. So I think just accommodating that and giving the students here the opportunity to grow both in their academics and their faith, and the space to do that is a key part of that.
Okay, and where are we looking to build this?
It would be on this campus. That decision has been made. Confirm that
the way
with
I
Todd.
understand it is that there is talk about an addition at the elementary.
That's the other chunk of it.
And then also a fourth, fifth kind of upper elementary coming onto this campus.
So we're not just moving out of the other elementary building. We're still going to be
Right.
established there.
Absolutely.
But we're only
Yes.
going to be going up through maybe fourth or fifth grade?
Yep.
Right. We would kind of, at this point, they're transitioning over here in sixth grade. They're looking at maybe we transition in fourth grade.
Okay.
And we have a facility here that's for that upper elementary. Move all those kids out, and then that creates more space in the elementary
Yes.
building
These
for
are
the other
great
grades.
questions, Todd.
Thank you. I do my
The
homework.
other thing, the other thing that I
Just
wanted to
some kind of
know
podcast hack. Okay, go ahead.
about the addition at the elementary. So I can speak a little bit to it because I've spent more time there, just being the mom. They really are utilizing every corner, every nook and cranny of that. There's closets being utilized. There's hallways. I've been trying to do some reading tutoring with some of the kids in the hallway when other kids are trying to get in their lockers. It's just, they're already doing all the things, and we want to have nice space for them to do all
So
these.
what would the addition look like over at the elementary?
Well, that I don't know a ton about.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I know we're...
So
believe
what
it's
will
for-
Honeycrisp be doing in the way of adding on
what are
to
you going to
that?
build over there?
Training the next leader of Honeycrisp, I think is what they'll be doing there. No, I think it's like kind of STEM related stuff. And
Yeah, they want
open
like more
and-
nature-based educational things.
Well, do you need a
happening,
building
so.
for nature? You just put them outside.
Bring the nature.
Yeah, it's cold sometimes.
Yeah, Michigan can be
Bring-
tough
bring
outside.
these- Michigan, just a little
kids
bit.
in.
Yeah.
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 Okay, so the addition over there would it be different classrooms, or would it just be one room? I mean, do we have any vision of what that's going to look like?
Multi-purpose. I think it can break down into multiple classrooms, but can be
Yeah.
open space.
They
as
talked
well.
about one of the specific things was having the ability to tailor chapels to different age groups. So
okay.
there may be like the idea of a space for a chapel specifically that's not the gym,
All right.
and having some of that. But
We did a similar thing here with the upstairs where
Right.
my room is now, which is kind of an empty space, and it's like, and Todd has great vision, like
Yeah.
what he wants to do and where he wants the school to go. So I really appreciate Todd Talsma as the head of schools and his vision here. But he went up and he looked in that area, and I'm sure there were others with him kind of advising him, but it's like, this would be a great chapel space, and this would be a great place to have the Bible classrooms, and so we're able to move up there. And so I don't know if you remember my classroom when you were here, but it was like a hobbit hole.
Yeah.
Right? There are no windows, and
Yeah.
but it was home for me. And then I had a hard time really moving up there, but now I love it.
It's so great.
so open, and
well, the other thing is there's a lot of moms actually who like to come to chapel at
Yeah.
the elementary,
Oh, yeah.
and we're kind of standing in the back right now,
Yep.
and it'd be really great to have room for
that would be.
the parents to come.
Okay.
Grandparents.
Well, that would be great. And then as far as the building over here, if we were able to raise the money that we're looking for, and I think it's how much?
15 million.
15 million. I can't even think in those terms. 15 million.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
We're doing great,
Yeah,
actually. I
so-
don't know if I'm supposed to say this, but I
No, go
will.
ahead.
We're about 10 million. We're
Yeah,
at
we're
about
like
10
2/3 of
million
the way
bucks.
there.
So let's say that we raise that. We get to that, right? So how soon do you think we'd start on this?
Well, hopefully within the next 12 months. Yeah.
No way.
I think to start, yeah.
Telling
to
me
start.
I'm going to look out my window and I'm going to see all the equipment coming in and starting to.
Yeah, you just got to call all your friends and help us raise this
right. That's
last
what this is
$5 million that we need for this
all
campaign.
my friends have empty pockets like me. I'm not sure I have the.
Should we talk about teacher compensation?
Well, let's move on to that. To
Yeah.
seek to improve teachers' pay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's
Well, honestly, I think this is the thing that's probably closest to our hearts, and so Jen can jump in here too. But we've had and we've experienced great teachers that, frankly, it's it's an uphill battle, and so these are some of the most important people in our lives, certainly at the school, but in our lives, and so. To make sure that they're compensated in a way that allows them not to have the burden of financial stress is really important for us. Someone like you, we want to keep great teachers like you around here for a really, really long time. So this is what we get most fired up about. We've had actually, teachers that we have 4 boys, so each of our kids tend to end up with we have teachers in our lives for multiple years, I guess I'll put it that way, and so we know that there's teachers that have had to leave because of that, and that's devastating for us, and so we don't want that to happen.
I was going to say, I think, we're talking about the building, but at the end of the day, the teachers are what make the school great, in my opinion. Obviously the leadership, the visionaries, the staff, everything, but that's who my kids are with for a majority of their day, for a majority of their week. That's who's shaping, outside of our home. That's the person that's shaping them. And yeah, we've had both experiences. One where our boys have had just this most phenomenal teacher, and then the next one gets to have her, and then the next one. And it's just it's such a great, wonderful thing for me as a mom to just trust that person, know them. And then we've had the wonderful, wonderful teacher who had to leave, and it's just such a heartbreak. And it was for financial reasons. So that was kind of what got me into I wanna be a part of this, because that shouldn't be happening, in my opinion. I think we can do better. I think that there are plenty of people out there who, if they knew what was going on and were informed about it, would absolutely want to fix that problem.
And we need more male teachers. I don't know if I should say that, but that would be awesome. With 4 young boys,
and this is more the elementary school than really
so
here
far,
at the high
but,
school.
yeah,
I think we're
not trying to replace you.
No, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's right.
I think
understand.
you're safe. Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, it's been, as I've said in other podcasts, it's been 30 years since I've been here. Matter of fact, I have a timeline right here. And if I can go back to this timeline, here, give me just a second.
Is it in stone or is that on
that's
paper?
Nice little timeline, see, all the way through here. And in 1996 is when we came up with the mission statement to equip students to impact the world for Jesus Christ. And that's also the very same time that Mr. Schenck was hired. So you can see that there on the timeline. They didn't add that, but I
amazing.
did. Yeah. So started in 1972, and here we are in 2026. I've been here for 30 years. You guys have been out of school for 20, and it's just, and the reason I've been here is because of the faculty and staff. The administration we have has been fantastic. I mean, I can't say enough about that. But it's been you guys. And when you guys graduate and you go out and I see you fulfilling the mission statement, I'm just so proud. God has provided for my family in different ways. I run basketball tournaments, of course, and that's been a help, in doing that. And so we need to get your team in a couple more tournaments. Your boys playing. But it's just been really a privilege and a blessing to be here, and I enjoy coming to work every day.
We thank you. Yeah, no, this we need people like you and your commitment to this school. So thank you for doing that.
Well, I appreciate it.
Are you the longest? Who's been here longer?
I think
than
Jerry
you?
Duckworth has been here longer than I have,
Okay.
and probably Terry Alexander has been here as long as I have. Anyway, Joe Alexander for sure has been here as long as I have, because when I first came in, he was the one. He started as a custodian and then kind of worked his way into teaching.
Oh, yeah,
and now
Mr. A.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. A. He's still around. I see him. Say hi.
He's still around.
How long was Mr. Anderson here?
I don't remember. 40 years, maybe.
Is that all?
I think that was all. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to hit the 40-year point, though. I mean, 35 maybe. 35, but 40, I'm not sure.
Maybe if your count goes up, you can check out.
Yeah, maybe I could do that for sure.
I hope Todd's listening.
All right. The name that you guys have put to this project here is Forward in Faith. Okay. All right. So forward in faith, what does that mean? Keep it in context.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, well, I'll just give you a little story. I don't know
Context
if it. Yeah,
determines
I don't
meaning,
know if it encapsulates the whole thing. But when we set off to do this, we had a consultant. We looked at these things and kind of said, hey, think maybe $15 million is the number. There was a study done and there was a report done, and the feedback was, hey, 8 to 10 million is gonna stretch it. And so now we're past that, and we're just now getting to the point where we're going public. So I think we can do it, and I think we moved forward in faith, and it wasn't like, hey, it wasn't the faith of like we're gonna hit 15 million bucks.
Okay.
That might be called stupidity at that point in time, but it was, hey, we're gonna try this, and the Lord is gonna kind of lead this and guide this, and maybe we'll end up at 20, maybe we'll
Okay.
end up at 10, maybe we'll end up at 12. But no matter what, I think everybody that's involved is comfortable with that, confident with that, and moving forward in faith.
Okay, so what can our listeners do? Maybe some people from our community in way of kind of investing in this project. What can they do?
Well,
one.
I think there's a couple things you can do.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you can pray and support it. I mean, even those that would say, hey, I'm just not in a financial position to do that. Well, that's okay. That's totally fine. If you want to come approach our committee or whatever, there's things that we can do where we're telling people about this and making connections and being an advocate for this, telling about the excitement of what's going on at NorthPointe. And then other people that are in a position to give, like, we would love to spend time with you and tell you why we think this is a good investment and the reasons why. But in reality, like, we can use a lot of help, like getting the word out about NorthPointe.
Mainly, getting the word out would be a big one. I like that you led with the prayer. I mean, that's obviously, we all know that nothing happens apart from God's will and design. So
Okay, and if they want to, they can stop here at the school and they can grab one of these.
Yep.
Is that correct?
There you
go.
Okay,
Yep.
what I'm holding here for those of you that are on Spotify is a Forward in the Faith. It's for the capital campaign, and it's a brochure that you can look through and see kind of where we're going with this and what we want to do. And again, Ben and Jen are kind of Ben and Jen. That's a good ship name, right? Ben Jen.
I used to go by
Ben?
Jenna until I realized it's so much easier for people.
Ben, okay, so, but anyway, they're heading it up on the board. And I guess just to kind of conclude things here, and again, we want to invite you as part of the NorthPointe community to pray, to lean in, to invest, and to join us. But if you were going to leave a bit of advice for our students here at NorthPointe Christian, so you've been out for 20 years, and I do say this to all my classes. I said, you sit here now as a senior. Your senior year will go so quickly, and before you know it, you'll be where I am. Now, you're not there yet, but you're 20 years out, and you're on the way. So can you give some advice maybe to some of our students here at NorthPointe Christian in way of words of wisdom that you could leave with them?
Wow, that's a big one. I mean, honestly, I remember stressing about a lot of things in high school that weren't the most important things,
Yep.
I remember stressing about what other people thought about me and who I was friends with and, was I best dressed and some of those ridiculous things that don't matter. I would say probably just to take the opportunity while you're here to glean from the wisdom of your teachers that you have, to just not take for granted the community that you're surrounded by and the faith that people around you have. Because going out from here, no matter what college you go to or not college, it's a bigger world out there, and to get grounded and to take your faith seriously, to just dig into your personal relationship with the Lord before moving out and moving on, because it's a very sheltery time that I think you can underestimate what life is like outside of high school.
For sure. Thank you, Jenna. Ben?
Yeah.
Words of wisdom.
Yeah. I'd have a lot to say to my 17, 18-year-old self, that's for
Go back
sure.
in time.
Yeah. No, I would echo those comments of, I think when you're in high school, your world, it's just so small. You're so narrowly focused on things, and you quickly realize that it's such a bigger thing, and really just trying to figure out, what is the path that the Lord has for you, and being open to that and whichever direction that goes, but really trying to find something you're passionate about, and then being able to complement that with obviously your foundation in Christ, and being open-handed with the future. But yeah, when you're in high school, I think you're only thinking, till next weekend kind of a thing. So, but yeah, no, hard work. I mean, we live in just such an interesting time. There's so much opportunity out there. Work hard, love the Lord, do good.
All right. Good advice, and we hope you got the point. So this is Todd Schenck with Ben Sietsema, Jenna Sietsema. Thank you guys for being on the show today.
Thanks.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Point. I'm your producer, Alex Sigma. And if you enjoyed the episode, be sure to rate us on Spotify and share this podcast with others. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Spotify. We'll see you on the next episode.